Hey, what's up guys? John here. The biggest change in the U.S. labor market in American history has just happened. Large corporations are issuing massive layoffs.
Tens of thousands of workers in the industry who find themselves unemployed.
If you look at these 5 banks, they've cut about 20,000 jobs so far this year.
Corporate bankruptcies at all-time highs.
Bankruptcies have been slowly increasing for a while. The third quarter closed with the most bankruptcies so far in 2023.
And small businesses are struggling. Why is that? Well, if you look at what's happened the last couple of years, during the Great Resignation, employees nationwide were demanding 20 or 30% wages to offset this newfound inflation that was allegedly going to be transitory.
New data out today by the Labor Department says more than 47 million Americans quit their jobs in 2021. That is a record. That is the highest that number has been since keeping track of this whole number.
People are moving from San Francisco, LA, Boston, New York City, Philadelphia. They're going to Austin, Dallas, and Houston, South Florida, taking advantage of 0% income tax, buying beautiful homes, really living a great lifestyle, and all the while making money in stocks and crypto. It was a great moment in time. But now everything is changing and layoffs are ramping up. But what's going to happen next is going to blow your mind. If you are an employee or an employer or thinking about starting a business, pay very close attention to what's going on to prepare and plan it ahead. Please hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube will share this content to educate the people. And if you're thinking about fixing your credit to position yourself maybe to get a business loan or invest in distressed real estate, we'd love to help fix your credit at GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item at all in your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com by clicking the link in the description below this video. Take a look at this. So, a comprehensive list of 2023 tech layoffs. So far, there's more than 240,000 tech layoffs in 2023. That's a total, it's already 50% higher than all of last year and growing. Earlier this year, mass workforce reductions were driven by the biggest names: Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Yahoo, Meta, and Zoom. Startups across many sectors also announced cutbacks through the first half of the year. And while tech layoffs slowed down in the summer and fall, it appears that they are starting to ramp up again. So, up 200%. 200% so far in 2023. Charles Schwab laying off 2,000 employees. But when you look at LinkedIn, they share with you some of the big statistics. Panera Bread laying off 17% of their 18,000 employees. Vogue laying off 270. You have Shell laying off. You have, Target laying off 3.5% of their staff. Geico laying off 2,000 employees, 6% of their staff. Convoy, they've now went bankrupt, laying off 550 employees, did over $1 billion in revenue last year. Google issuing layoffs, Paramount layoffs, Rolls-Royce laying off 2,500, right? So you're getting the idea. Layoffs just continue. Meta, they just continue all the way down. Ally Financial laying off 500 employees. But what's happened here? Nokia laying off 14,000 people. Many people don't even know they're still in business. So yeah, big banks laying off 20,000 employees. But here's what's going on. It's really fascinating. When you have this situation that we've unfolded on, the last couple of years, where many people were taking out auto loans. 1 in 6 Americans has an auto loan of $1,000 or more per month. When you have many people taking out these debts based on these newfound income of 15, 20, 30%, and now wages are starting to crash, what's going to happen? Many people are likely going to start to default on these bills. That's what's very likely going to happen. Because during the Great Resignation, wages rose roughly 20%. And I saw this article, I thought it was very interesting. It's called The Great Shift. So it went from the Great Resignation to the Great Shift. As job openings, quits, taper, power shifts from workers to employers. So 2 years ago, when Richard Jordan switched from a manufacturing job, he reaped the benefits of an employer feeding frenzy for his services. In the end, Jordan, 58 years old, a senior manager oversees purchasing and production planning, was offered a 15 to 20% raise from his prior salary and negotiated an additional bump. Now, an auto supply company moving his position from Lincoln, Nebraska to Mexico. Why would they move from Lincoln, Nebraska to Mexico? Probably because of a more favorable environment for the business. Cheaper labor, cheaper staff, and they were cost cutting. They were trying to take the business into a different direction. And what is likely going to happen here in America is a lot of companies could be doing the same thing, taking their business to a different direction. They're going to be either moving it internationally, they're going to start leaning into AI and technology, they're going to begin outsourcing more talent, they're going to start to do whatever they have to do to survive, right? So he says it's drawing plenty of interest, noting about 10 interviews in just a few months. But he seriously considered taking a job that would keep his salary at about $140,000. The position would also entail a 1-hour commute from his home in Erie compared to his current 5-minute hop to the factory. I don't see anyone offering big money, Jordan says, referring to the bidding war he enjoyed in 2021. So you have to imagine, he's making $140,000 a year. So it's probably skilled labor, right? What he's doing, it's not an entry-level job. He's having a harder time. When you're looking at the higher-end jobs, you're looking at, the tech industry. When there's a ripple effect with these higher incomes, what ultimately happens? They start cutting back on landscaping. They start cutting back on, housekeepers. They start cutting back on, home renovations, home improvements. Before you know it, it starts to ripple down into the lower incomes. And when you're starting to pay attention to what the Fed is doing, it connects so well with what's happening in small business. So access to bank loans has declined sharply as the Federal Reserve quickly raised federal funds rate to about above 5%, tightening financial conditions. I've been warning about this happening before it happened. The current interest rate environment has pushed the interest rates on majority of small business loans to double digits for the first time since 2007. So, since the Great Financial Crisis, in other words, and bank willingness to lend to smaller firms is being restricted among tighter financial conditions, it's no surprise then that swiping credit cards to help fund a business has become a more common option amid a challenging economic environment, but it can be more risky. Well, you have to have a certain credit score to get business credit, so that's what they're mainly referring to. The average monthly credit card expenditure of U.S. small businesses is up an average of 20% compared to pre-pandemic levels, according to a recent report by Intuit QuickBooks. While the data is only available through May, the Fed has raised rates aggressively by then and made subsequent hikes, and recently as of July. A professor of economics at the University of Chicago who leads the development of small business reports the Intuit QuickBooks said the number is now likely higher. Business bankruptcies are up, access to capital is low. If you are thinking about starting a small business or getting access to a line of credit, you must put yourself in the strongest position possible. Just point blank. You have to put yourself in the best position possible to be able to get funding. So whatever that means for you, you have to do that. Because what's ultimately going to happen here is as these corporate bankruptcies begin to skyrocket, lenders are going to really start to look at every single loan much more carefully. They're not going to want to lose more and more money. And so when you're looking at this and you're seeing jobless claims climb to a 7-week high, layoffs are still low, but labor market might be cooling, it means that this is a light headline, that layoffs are still low. In comparison to what? Right? In comparison to what? The labor market might be cooling. It is cooling. If you look at the facts, you look at the data, you look at what's going on with lending, with small business, with large corporations, everything as a whole is coming down in a very, very, very big way. They even talk about it here on the Congressional Budget Office, right? This is on the government website. It's cbo.gov, and they are projecting here that unemployment is going to greatly rise from Q2 2023 to Q3 to Q4 to Q1 to Q2, that it's going to continue to get much, much, much worse. So when you're looking at these data points, and then you look at what's going on in 2024 that these large corporations are preparing for, there is no soft landing. They say a $2 trillion corporate debt wall will spark job losses in 2024, Goldman Sachs says. A $2 trillion corporate debt wall is about to shake the economy with job loss, according to Goldman Sachs. The bank estimates the economy will shed 5,000 jobs per month in 2024. They go on to say that they believe that this could hit 10,000 jobs per month by 2025, right here. That could double to a loss of 10,000 jobs per month by 2025. If interest rates remain high, companies would need to devote a greater share of the revenue to cover interest expense as they refinance their debt at higher rates. Goldman Sachs, we find that for each additional dollar of interest rate expense, firms lower their capital expenditures by 10 cents and labor costs by 20%. U.S. companies benefited immensely from the period of low interest rates before 2022, according to Bank of America. So when you're looking at this situation, you have to look at it from a different perspective. Look at it from the perspective of the entire economy is likely going to get restructured and changed. And with that restructuring, with that change, a lot of people will make a lot of money. A lot of people are going to make a ton of money because of it, because consumer spending habits are going to change, businesses are going to change, the way people conduct business, everything is under attack. Everything is changing. So when you're thinking about starting a business, you want to do that strategically based with all of these things under consideration. Now, I think a lot of people are going to make some really smart moves, and they're going to put themselves in a huge position to make a fortune in 2024 and 2025. But I think a lot of people also are looking at this saying, it's fine. The job market's going to be okay. We're going to get a soft landing in the economy. Home prices are going to somehow remain at these elevated rates, and there's not going to be an issue. Those people, I think, are going to have a hard, rude awakening coming in 2024 and 2025, whereas everyone else that's planning in advance, getting out of high interest rate consumer debt, that are cutting back on unnecessary expenses, they're putting themselves in a stronger position. Those people are going to be able to go out there and dominate. What do you think about this entire situation? Drop below, hit the like button, and if you're thinking about fixing your credit to position yourself what I think is going to be the greatest wealth transfer of all time, we would love to help you. At my company, GreatCreditFast.com, that's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item at all on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com, click the link in the description just below this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.